On Friday, the South Gauteng High Court gave a historic landmark ruling, paving the way for over 200,000 of gold miners and their families to form part of a class action to claim compensation from mining companies for contracting silicosis. To talk more about the Bongani Nkala and 55 others versus Harmony Gold Mining Company Limited lawsuit, we're joined here in studio by Anele Yawa from the Treatment Action Campaign. Anele, it's good to have you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to you and good morning to people of South Africa.
Now, Anele, we talk about 56 workers, which we've said, and family members bringing this application to the court, which of course is going to pave the way forward for, we're talking about 200,000 gold miners and their families to form part of a class action to claim compensating from mining companies for contracting silicosis. So that's the heart of it all. I mean, when do the cases actually go back now? Where to from here?
To be honest with you, at the present moment, we are not yet sure where to from here, because we are waiting for the mining companies, whether they are going to appeal Friday's judgment, or they will opt to go for the trial, or they will opt to go for the out-of-court settlement. But any which way they decide, we are ready and we are waiting for them. So it is only then, after they have made up their minds, where we will be able to know what does the future holds for us.
Yeah. How big is this class action? I know it's difficult to tell. I mean, we can talk anywhere from numbers ranging up to 500,000 miners.
To be honest with you, it will be difficult to give you the numbers. All what we have now is estimates, because one has to remember that according to the court ruling of Friday, it says from 1965 until to date. So 200,000 might be too little. Maybe we're talking about millions of people, but also this case on its own, as we have indicated, that this is a historic landmark, not only for people of South Africa, but for the workers, for the poor people of the world, as to say, gone are the days where the poor people are going to be victims of those who are rich and powerful, and because they can't afford to take them to court. So now, it has been proved that civil society and community-based organizations, as well as poor people, can work together and make sure that at the end of the day, justice is served.
Yeah. Well, we look at, I mean, let's talk about silicosis and what it's all about. I mean, there's no known cure for silicosis, and I mean, it's a very debilitating thing to have, and this is all caused from the silica that goes in from the gold mines, and I mean, this is the dust that's there, and it's over a prolonged period that this does happen. Has safety on the mines improved? I mean, or is it still the way it always has been? And obviously, with a ruling like this, will it now force the miners to change the way things are done?
To be honest with you, one cannot say safety in mines or in any workplace has been improved, because if it was improved, we will not have been getting cases of this nature. Not long ago, miners were caught underground. We don't know even up until now what is happening about that. But on top of that, what is important is to make sure that all employers, they adhere to health and safety regulations, because at the end of the day, it is wrong for these rich people to put profit more than people's health and lives.
All right. Now, I mean, the reality is that it becomes, once silicosis is contracted, it becomes the responsibility of the health system, the public health system, and this obviously, it costs a lot of money to handle, and the miners the gold mines have been completely given no responsibility up until now. Has that been the situation?
That is the situation, and that's why we as TAC and other activists, like other health groups, decided to form part of this, because these mining companies have been allowed for a long time to go away with murder. So moving forward, we, as this case is unfolding, it becomes our responsibility as government and civil society to hold these mining companies accountable and make sure that they put more resources to the public healthcare sector, so that we can be able, the public healthcare sector can be able to take responsibility of those who contracted silicosis and tuberculosis in mines, and so that we can be able to talk about saving lives. At the present moment, these mining companies are not doing anything. And it means if, like for instance, at the present moment, there is no cure for silicosis. The only thing that you will find is a treatment to manage it. Then it becomes their responsibility to engage pharmaceutical companies to make sure that they come up with a cure for silicosis, because most of these people are dying of silicosis, which they have contracted in their minds.
Yeah. You know, there was a case, Bongani versus Anglo Gold, Ashanti Limited. And unfortunately, a week before this ruling came out now, Mr. Bongani actually passed away.
Yes.
Will this compensation apply to his family? How does something like this work?
At the present moment, as you were listening to the judge said, as the country, we need to amend pieces of legislation so that we also, through this case, we accommodate those members who passed away whilst they were waiting for the judgment, so that their families can also be able to get any kind of compensation if there will be a compensation.
Okay. All right. Just a final closing note. Can gold miners afford this? Could this cripple the gold mining sector?
It is not about them being able to afford this. It is about the lives of the people. That's what matters. So it is not our problem whether they can afford this or not. They have to take the responsibility of what they have caused. So they must, because they are making a lot of money, you must understand. Because one has to understand that when we were going to court, they had a battalion of legal teams. So if they had about 30 lawyers, it means they are able to compensate these poor mine workers.
Anele Yawa from the Treatment Action Campaign, thank you very much for talking to us here on the programme.
Thanks to you.
Let's take a break. We'll see you after this. Stay tuned.